Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, world. It's so exciting to be back here today. This Tuesday for the second installment of Morning Spring on your award-winning super channel, Western Spring Television, channel 190, StarTimes DTT. This is where we talk about everything that has to do with the public good, public importance, the Nigerian project, things about you, the good people, and this great nation of ours called Nigeria. We do these Mondays through Fridays, 7 a.m. on channel 190, StarTimes on DTT, and also on YouTube at Western Spring Television. Femi Ojo is my name, remains my name. I'm a Nigerian, and of course, this is Morning Spring o'clock. I'm not alone. Daniel is here. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Femi.
Yeah, how do you do?
Great, how do you do?
Very well. Well, thank God. We are here, and we are here to do what we know how to do best.
Absolutely.
Right.
It's a beautiful Tuesday morning, cool Tuesday morning in this part of the world. Good morning to you, our distinguished viewers. Thank you once again for joining us on Morning Spring. This is Western Spring Television. Emeka Daniel is my name. It's always a pleasure to be here. It gives me great pleasure also to know that you are there on the other side, always joining us as we kickstart your mornings with the best of news and information, and of course, critical conversations and analysis that shape our nation. And that's what we do here every weekday from Monday to Friday. Once again, today I say congratulations to Nigeria Super Falcons for their victory. They celebrated yesterday. The president received them at the villa, and rewarded them handsomely. Beyond my expectations. Yesterday I was saying it, that they deserve to be handsomely rewarded for their victory, for their achievement. And yesterday, I think Mr. President surprised everyone. The reward was, way beyond what anyone would have expected. And some are saying, it's their luck. It's their time to shine. Each player getting $100,000. Femi, we're talking about $100,000 here. It's no small money. So the players, some of them were jumping around, jubilating at the villa. Of course, apart from the $100,000, they also got 3-bedroom apartments each. And of course, the technical team got $50,000. Of course, they all got national honors. They were awarded national honors. That's Officer of the Order of Niger. That's OON. So once again, congratulations to the Super Falcons for their victory. You deserve everything you got.
I tell you, it was a jubilant time, from the when they highlighted from that vehicle, celebrated or shut in, and of course, the jubilant guys. Now, one thing I know is the fact that the girls, you see them bonding more like sisters, actually. When you see the way they do their things, everyone supporting everyone, either your own base, either you're in Italy, either you are somewhere in US and all of those things. And before know what's happening, they are singing. Before know what's happening, they are hitting the tables. And, every time they are singing and dancing, it's just the excited Nigerian spirit that, in spite of the odds, just keep going. And this says so much about, reiterate the point of, in this life, Daniel, right? Be successful.
Absolutely.
Do whatever within your means.
You have a lot of relatives when you're successful.
As they say, success has many parents.
Absolutely.
But failure is an orphan. Actually, just imagine, we can't even imagine that they lost, on Saturday. Then, it will be about who the coach should have removed, how the coach should never have been hired.
And that's where we all get it wrong. That's where we all get it wrong.
And all of those things,
What if they lost?
That's it.
The point is, even if they lost, we should show them that same love.
Well, if they lost, I'm not sure they will have $100,000.
That's when they need us more. We should show them love, encourage them so they can do better next time. So what if they lost?
I'm sure the Paspato, Maguire motivational speakers will tell you that. But in reality, be successful. Make a move. That's the thing. Now, apart from those national honors, and now, when the Eagles won Nations Cup as well in 2013, the boys were awarded MON. As well. All of those sets, Yosef Yobo, Ahmed Musa, the late Stephen Keshi was the coach, then all of those. So these girls now, they are OON, and that comes from something. That means they are national award, awardee, and all of those things. And they presented the cup, you know that popular song that was sung in your place. Now, our mama, papa, so
yeah,
immediately the president announced those things. The song came up, and now our baba bidi, so we know they another one. Now they are papa. I'm telling you,
he has to be.
And they presented the cup to but that was quite huge. Nobody expected that. $100,000. Yeah. At most, you expect sometimes $20,000, but at most $50,000. Nobody has even been given $50,000. Now, 3-bedroom apartment in the Renewed Hope estate or whatever they called it, and then the ON. And I think you can't ask for more as a Nigerian at this time. That doesn't have anything to do with their allowances and match bonus, everything, because they confirmed that all of those things have been paid. So that means we're in a good era now. And the concern now, since yesterday, is people hope that 3-bedroom flat or mansion or duplex, whatever, will not turn to the same gift that was given in 1994.
It won't be an audio gift, right?
That was only redeemed this year. The Tunisian 94 team, all of them, Stephen Keshi, Rashidi Yekini, he has even died. Some of them have, passed on. That particular gift of 1994 was redeemed in 2025, 31 years after. And, but many persons are saying, this is Tinubu. He's an agba spender. To spend money is not a problem for the president.
Absolutely.
And they hope he would do that and make good of it. And because that's when it's not just being audio. In fact, for you to know the kind of doubt that Nigerians have when leaders make promise, somebody was saying, let president tell AGF to be doing transfer in that hall. We don't want check. We don't want come on Monday. We don't want just collect be wiring the thing like that before they leave that hall. Because the president can give orders. Yeah, he can always give orders.
Before you know it.
And before know what's happening, the story will be getting long. We don't want that for this. Auntie, you can all pay. Collect this thing or your regular bank.
And they should verify that it's real.
Yes, and let me know audio alert. Exactly. These are some of the things, but it might sound humorous, but it's the reality. Yeah, that's the reality. People have been promised before and they will never get anything. And the flip side to this is their family members are waiting. Their friends and family are waiting that, Rashidat.
Even their enemies are waiting.
Is 150 million naira richer. Before I know what's happening.
160, not the 150. Even if you CBN rate, that's at least 160.
Yeah, so
at least 160.
They are relative. I'm sure by this money. In fact, since yesterday, their WhatsApp will be buzzing with people that have never called them in their lives. Before they will know that
no, if you start with congratulations.
You start with congratulations, and by today you let them know that we are together.
Don't forget for also, yes.
And your child will be resuming in September. The person will never born. These are the issues. But then,
and again, Femi,
congratulations.
In retrospect, I was having a conversation with someone yesterday. Some Nigerian players, some people who have served Nigeria, some Super Eagles players, never had it this good. Look at someone like Rashidi Yekini, for instance. Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, when he died, he had almost nothing. Yes, someone who gave his life to serving Nigeria. We understand how, he was living in not so good conditions. And players of that era, I mean, they didn't have it so good. Right. So for the Super Falcons now, they are really, I'll say they're really lucky. I'll say luck is working. Yeah. They are really lucky.
And many persons have been talking about sport business. I mean, for a career that has a time frame, you can't always be there, especially for the ladies. If you play for 10 years, you are lucky. Because at some point, family members will be shouting on your neck, go and start a family. These are some, and the moment you do that, the career is hampered. For the guys, you are even lucky. That's just the thing, because you're not the one who will carry the pregnancy. They don't usually have hormonal changes. Yeah. And all of those
and even in terms of rewards they are getting. I mean,
now, all right. Now, the whole thing will be maybe the next major competition. Let the Super Eagles qualify. If they would qualify, because they are in a very difficult place right now, as far as the US and Mexico World Cup is concerned, if they will qualify, let them go ahead and win the World Cup. And we'll see. Of course, I'm sure there will be a national
That's
holiday.
asking for the impossible.
Nothing is impossible. They did it in USA 94.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, Atlanta 96.
Are we prepared? Are we prepared?
I'm just saying, we must be prepared. Nothing is dropped on anybody's lap.
That's the point.
We must do well. But that is impossible. I don't think so. Nothing is impossible. Actually, in US, in Atlanta 96, Argentina was leading 2-0 as well, just like the Eagles. And they came back 2-1, 2-2, 3-2. That was the era of golden goal. The moment you score in extra time, that's over. You know, and they did it. They did it in semi-final against Brazil. There were 2 goals down or 3 goals down. They came back 4-3.
No, it's not as if I don't have faith in them.
They can always do it.
Well, you know,
we put in the work,
yeah, that's the point.
Logistically, mentally, financially, and the boys are willing. They are raring to go. Nothing is, it's a tall order, we must say. It's a very hard call to ask for. And Nigeria to come and win the World Cup when the Spains of this world will be looking at you. The French team, the English
it's
team.
It's not even about your names for me.
And all of those.
It's our level of preparation.
Yeah, I'm only saying that some of those names you have mentioned, they are always prepared.
Yeah, that's
and
the
they have the names.
Yeah, and they deserve to win.
So everybody will always have a shot. Now, it didn't just start with the awards at the Villa. There is a road. There was a road they took before they got there. The amalgamation of the boys. And, you know, the coach. In fact, somebody said this is a coach that has been languishing for almost 30 years. And he only got a glimpse of glory just last weekend. Meaning, keep pushing.
Absolutely.
Just keep
Never
pushing.
give up.
Never give up. We'll look into all of that. And, you know, time will not allow us to, you know, opine more on the development of the political scene where a particular former governor, former minister has been expelled and banned for 30 years from a political party.
Banished.
This is an interesting time.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So
banished into the evil forest of the SDP.
I mean, it's not even eligible to even apply for membership of that party within the next 30 years. I mean, that's
the question
that's
is,
like killing an ant with a sledgehammer.
The question is, somebody will say, how does he care? You know, how relevant is the SDP in the scheme of things? But then to ban an individual for 30 years, under which law? What happens to freedom of expression?
No, that's them. They said according to them, according to the Nigerian Constitution, gives them the right to determine
party affairs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Who should be their member.
And that the individual tried to play them.
Exactly.
And they even gave him support letter, only that he didn't officially even enter the state level.
Yeah, he didn't go to his ward to register. And he was taking pictures with, you know, suspended leaders just to... but I think, Femi, if political parties, I mean, should start being very strict on their members, maybe we'll stop seeing all these defections here and there.
All right.
If they start banishing members, banning them, that if you do this, you're not allowed to be part of our party for the next 20, 30 years. Maybe they'll start to, you know, rethink their moves before they make their decisions. When they know there will be consequences for their actions, maybe they'll sit up. Maybe our politicians will sit up.
All right.
We hope to see more of that anyway.
Many. Well, that would be a different dynamics when actually this kind of party like SDP gets into power. You know, when you're out of power, there are things you can do. You have never tasted power like that. Now that you are now in power, you will see how of that power you can wield to ban people for 30 years. Interesting things here. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back. All right, thank you for staying with us. A quick one, the headline segment today. This is where we look at, you know, different stories and headlines from the front pages of our major dailies in the nation. The Punch is my first point of all. Electricity Act Amendment Bill, federal government may sell 11 discos to new investors. 11 discos, you know. Power distributing companies to new investors, NERC NEC to enforce DISCO's recapitalization and reprivatization. Amendment bill advances at the National Assembly. Okay, what have we done with the ones we have? There are people that express concern that the reprivatization that we first had was not, due diligence wasn't played. It was sold to cronies and friends and all of those things. Here we are, we appear like most distribution companies are just there to make money and they are not really adding anything to infrastructure.
Absolutely.
And for our end here, in this community, around here, many persons, I can say they are adding nothing to infrastructure. When you have issues with the facility, with the transformer, with the lines, the community will be the one to buy whatever it is needed.
Yeah, in fact, so many places.
They will tell you, no problem. They will see into it. But the next 1 year, once they tell you they don't have the facility to, the infrastructure to fix that, then that means you people will be in darkness.
See the community contributing.
They will contribute.
Transformers.
They are the ones that they ask BDC to suggest whatever you want to buy. You pay the technicians, the engineers, the logistics, whatever is needed, and then you still rub people's palms, just because you can't afford to live in darkness. And it's not that because you have done that, they will do calculation plus or minus to say, okay, we will give this community that worth of energy. No, we move on to the next thing. If it gets spoiled, the next weekend, you are coming back again, or in the next 2 years, your community might just be off the grid.
Quite unfortunate.
And it is unfortunate. And, many persons will relate to what I'm saying, that what has discos really added to the infrastructure that they made, apart from, people of goodwill, communities that are willing to buy transformers. And these are some of the issues that we are seeing. Now, there is a proposal to resell them, recapitalization, reprivatization. We wait to see. Below that, we have the picture of the chairman, 11 PLC, that's former Mobile Oil Nigeria PLC, Ramesh Kansangra, and the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, a former head of state, Abdusalami Abubakar, and a director at that company, Rishi Kasangra, during a reception at the villa yesterday in Abuja. And bottom strip, cheating. Ondo girl nabbed for stabbing boyfriend to death. Cheating. So, Ondo girl nabbed for stabbing boyfriend to death.
For cheating?
Just for cheating.
That's extreme.
But that's
not even your husband.
Well, cheating is bad. But killing
cheating is bad.
Criminal.
Tell me, how are we sure in most cases she's also cheating?
I don't know. But according to this story, they're only talking about cheating.
I know.
I'm only saying. But then killing should not be the reward for cheating. Because not that we are saying, okay, guys or girls should be cheating. The law will not understand cheating.
Absolutely.
Now you have killed the guy. Most likely, I wouldn't know what will happen at the court. She's in a big problem because of cheating. These are the issues. And it's a big warning to many people. I don't want to point ants in this house. You people should not cheat your way to death. I will have mentioned the director, but I won't mention the name. All right. You people should behave. That's even, yes, you said it, not even in marriage.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're not even married. Yeah. And you're killing someone for cheating.
Somebody is whispering to my ears.
No.
We are just being warned. Now, GAC in turmoil as faction moves to sack Lagos APC chairman. Interesting. Big trouble in Little China there. Lassa fever death toll rises to 152 amid 811 cases. And state versus discos. New electricity law unleashes widespread prices. And top strip, APC kicks as opposition backs single-day polls. That's talking about 2027. Federal government launches crackdown on MDAs after 300% surge in impressed claims, 300% surge. And U.S. birth tourism crackdown sparks Nigerian hospital reform cause. U.S. birth tourism crackdown sparks Nigerian hospital reform cause. That means people usually want to go and give birth in the U.S. Once you are born on the soil and
exactly.
automatically,
a citizen.
There is a crackdown on that. Many persons might be first to reconsider that. So is that all of us are here and we make things work?
Absolutely.
Now, lastly, that's very good news. Tinubu governance splash 4.95 billion naira cash houses on Falcons. Maybe they deserve every good thing they are getting. We talked about the gift from the federal government, and now this is the time that individuals will be calling their own. I saw a video of Governor Ademola Adeleke, calling Rashida Ajibade.
Yeah,
she's from here, and that's why we say in everything you do,
it's quick to claim.
Be successful.
It's easy for the governor to claim her right now.
That's it. I remember during Babayemi Teller's time, the I think World Youth Championship where they won. Every state called those boys. These are the things. So be successful in everything. Then you will be seen. Because Burna Boy said, if you are not successful, You explain.
But as a human being, I always say it, you should be careful. Personally, I do not judge people by how they treat me when I'm successful. I rather judge you by how you treat me when I'm down. That's more important to me. How you treat me when I'm down. That matters more to me, because I know when I get successful, I know I'm going to have a lot of friends.
But then in the public space,
but now that I'm down and broke, I mean, how do you treat me? Come on.
in the public eye, you're successful.
Absolutely.
That will be all from the Punch.
And from the Punch newspaper, we move to the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. On the Daily Trust, 2027, AMPP bloc insists on VP slots. 2027, AMPP bloc insists on VP slots with a rider. It's president's prerogative. That's coming from Ali Modu Sharif. Since the passing of former President Muhammadu Buhari, who was actually the leader of the CPC bloc, the CPC bloc might just be falling apart rather, since their leader is dead, and politicians, are doing their calculations to see who will get his bloc of supporters, because the CPC bloc is crucial.
The leader just died less than a month ago.
Yeah.
Even less than 2 weeks at thereabout.
That's it. Once someone leaves, you have to share what's left. I mean,
whatever is on ground, people are looking for the new leader.
Absolutely.
And what to do with the bloc.
Absolutely. So that's just politics for you. Politics has to go on. It has been mourned, and now it's all about politics. Away from that, moving to the top strip of the Daily Trust newspaper. Attacks on journalists rising under current administration. Attacks on journalists rising under current administration, and that's coming from a report right there. Still on the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. Patients stranded as doctors in Lagos embark on strike. Patients stranded as doctors in Lagos embark on strike. Once again, our doctors are embarking on strike. I mean, this is one strike too many, every day strike. And the patients are being affected. If you go to these public hospitals, one of the disadvantages of using public hospitals is that you have to wait for so long, sometimes before you get an appointment. I remember there was a particular time I decided to use the public hospital because, of course, one thing going for them is that they have the best of professionals. That's it. All the consultants are there at the tertiary institutions. But when they give you an appointment, they ask you to come back maybe in the next 6 months because they don't have enough hands, enough doctors.
And so now depending on the ailment.
No, to see some consultants, you have to imagine when you have a case where we have only like maybe 4 or 5 consultants.
There are not many.
In the States. So you just have to wait for a very long time. I just looked at it, I just laughed, and that was the end of it. I didn't bother.
You just got healed.
Yeah, that's it. I didn't bother. I didn't bother. Quite unfortunate. Away from that, moving on to other stories, still on the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. How NSCDC officer was stabbed, died in Abuja. How NSCDC officer was stabbed, died in Abuja. Quite unfortunate. I guess that officer died in the line of duty. Quite unfortunate right there. And right there, at the middle of the page, we can see the picture of, I guess that's Mr. President, the Super Falcons arriving at the national, what's this? Is that the national airport? Arriving at the airport, international airport, yesterday in Abuja after winning the 2024 Women's Africa Cup of Nations right there. And below that, Tinubu gives Super Falcons highest reward in 27 years. Tinubu gives Super Falcons highest reward in 27 years. Like we said at the beginning of the program, quite impressive. This is the highest reward ever in 27 years. Each player getting $100,000 and 3-bedroom flats plus national honors. That's the highest. And so it's just the time. It's just their time. Some would say it's their time talking about the Super Falcons getting the highest reward in 27 years. Below that, we have Kaduna residents lament as landlords increase rent by 150%. Kaduna residents lament as landlords increase rent by 150%. You find that story on page 10. So all of a sudden, the landlords probably had a meeting and decided to increase rent by 150%. Well, it's quite unfortunate when landlords just do it. Before you increase rent, ideally, you should add value. I mean, to the house. Most times, no value is added to the house, no renovation, nothing, no additional facilities added. Then they just increase rents.
Some of the buildings might even be having issues, and they won't fix it. The only thing that we tell you, if you can't afford it, get out of the place, because there are willing people that are coming, and it speaks to the shortage of house.
Yeah, the housing
deficit in Nigeria, and it's not just in Kaduna, even in these Oshobo here. If you have a housing issue, I'm sure you can testify to what I'm saying.
Lagos is even worse. Lagos is like,
as they say on the street, your eye will peel.
Honestly, Lagos is something else. But again, it all boils down to the failure of our leaders. In a country like China, having a population of over 1.3 billion people, China is having a housing surplus. They're having a surplus. So how come we're just 230 million?
You're talking about China here. China that can just wake up to build a brand new city in 2 years. They are used to that. So housing will not really.
So why can't we do that? We have the resources. When one person will steal so much funds and build 730 duplexes, that's just a problem. All about leadership. Quite unfortunate. Away from that, moving on to other stories. Still on the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper. Military DSS kill 45 terrorists in Niger border towns. Military DSS kill 45 terrorists in Niger border towns. We find the story on page 28. And finally, from the front page of the Daily Trust, how bandits killed 38 villagers after collecting ransom in Zamfara. How bandits killed 38 villagers after collecting ransom in Zamfara. You find that story on page 32. Quite unfortunate, I mentioned it yesterday that I saw a report about 35. Now we have it here that 38 villagers were actually killed, slaughtered after collecting ransom. The first report I saw was that they didn't get the ransom, but now we are learning that they even collected ransom and still went ahead to kill 38 innocent Nigerians.
Just because they think they can do it.
And government is just moving on like that. I mean, nothing is happening. No one is losing their jobs. No one is being arrested. No one is in jail. 38 Nigerians killed after collecting ransom in a sovereign state. So when critics say that Nigeria is a failed state or that Nigeria is failing, I mean, they start getting the presidency, starts attacking them, saying they are politicizing it. But that's the reality. If in a sovereign state, 38 people can be killed, slaughtered, kidnapped by bandits.
Unfortunately, there is no opera.
Nothing, that's what I'm saying.
Even from the
life is just going on. Everyone is just going about their businesses, their normal businesses, as if nothing happened. As if nothing happened. Quite unfortunate. That'll be all from the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning.
All right, quick one from this day. Tinubu rewards 8 Falcons players with $100,000. 3-bedroom flat, national honor. We've taken that already. And top strip, e-payment transactions rise 17.7% to 284.99 trillion naira in Q1 2025. And POS transactions hit 10.45 trillion naira, record 209% increase. Again, e-payment transactions rise 17.7% to 284.99 trillion naira in Q1 2025. And the rider says POS transactions hit 10.45 trillion naira, record 209% increase. I can't remember the last time I was at a bank to withdraw. Actually,
same here.
POS guys all over the place, making little business for themselves, and it's easy. Instead of using like 1,000 or 2,000 to go to bank or fill your card, somebody is around the corner.
Absolutely.
Do all of those things just for maybe less than 500 naira, you are good. And I think it's a good initiative. All right, Tito B, president using misleading statistics to conceal economic hardship. We'll look into that because of the program today. And that will be all from this day.
And from this day, we move to the front page of the Guardian newspaper. On the Guardian newspaper this morning, poor digital retail offerings mar 85 trillion naira stock market potential. Poor digital retail offerings mar 85 trillion naira stock market potential. You'll find a story on page 6. And moving to the top strip, NMA threatens strike, rules exit of 30 doctors in Jigawa. You find a story on page 3. And beside that, SDP expels El Rufai, bans him for 30 years. SDP expels El Rufai, bans him for 30 years. You find the story on page 3. We'll look into that in the course of the program this morning. And beside that, we have another story. 4 trillion naira legacy debt threatens power sector stability, Adelabu warns. 4 trillion naira legacy debt threatens power sector stability, Adelabu warns. You find the story on page 4. RCEC fixes August 30 for LG polls as groups kick. As River State Independent Electoral Commission fixes August 30 for LG polls as groups kick. You find the story on page 7. And below that, cement firms profit up by 229% on FX stability as revenue hit 3.2 trillion naira. Cement firms' profits up by 229% on FX stability as revenue hits 3.2 trillion naira. You find the story on business page 15. That's a good one. 229% profit. Quite interesting. And also recently, Dangote, that's the president of the Dangote Group, he resigned from Dangote Cement just to focus on Dangote Refinery. So he'll be fully in charge of the refinery. He has made tons and tons of money from the cement, and he wants to pay attention to his refinery right now. Quite a good one for them. And right there at the middle of the page, let's take a look at this. 5.69 million retail investor accounts were recorded as of 2023. All right, that's a small fraction of Nigeria's, is that 11.9? Yeah, 1.9 million adult population. Yeah, 111.9 million adult population. That's according to CSCS right there. And below that, you have how to improve youth participation in stock market. It's all about digitalization. Below that, we have technology, lowers barriers to entry. Then we have accessibility, we have investor education, we have transparency and performance reporting. Then we have investor protection. Then we have product innovation, of course, new offerings and delivery. And finally, we have portfolio personalization. These are the ways to encourage, young people to invest in the stock market. Before now, you always have to go to your stockbroker for you to place orders, for them to buy stocks for you and all that. But digitalization will change all this and improve youth participation. Below that, Tinubu honors Super Falcons with OON, flat millions for WAFCON triumph. Tinubu honors Super Falcons with OON, flat millions for WAFCON triumph. You find a story on page 6. And on the bottom strip, WHO declares hepatitis D cancerous, urges swift global action. World Health Organization declares hepatitis D cancerous, urges swift global action. You find a story on page 4. And beside it, security forces kill 45 terrorists in Niger, suffer casualties in Katsina. You find that on page 30. And on the bottom strip, MRA records 141 attacks on journalists in 2 years. You find the story on page 4. And that'll be all from the front page of the Guardian newspaper this morning. That also brings us to a conclusion of the newspaper review segment. We'll take a short break, and when we return, we dive into, of course, the conversations of the day. Please stay with us.